Welcome to my channel and welcome to a new video. The Guardians of the Holy Grail of Globalism. If you are interested in this topic, you might be interested in reading Dr. Polleit's Boom and Bust report. For investors who really want to know, please visit my website www.boombustreport.com. And now let us start with the Guardians of the Holy Grail of Globalism. Globalism has suffered a major setback in the United States of America, when Americans elected Donald J. Trump in November 2024 as president on a platform to push back the deep state and free America from the grip of globalism. But what exactly is meant by globalism? Globalism can be understood as a framework of ideas, an ideology according to which people should not manage their own affairs self-determinedly in a system of free markets. Instead, they should be governed from above by something like a global council of state leaders, by an enlightened global elite. That said, globalism actually fuses elements of socialism, Marxism, even feudalism and fascism. Globalism's most recent manifestation is the Great Reset, promoted by the World Economic Forum, the most prominent incubator of globalism with a powerful and influential following. However, the true guardians of the Holy Grail of globalism have remained largely in the background, the councils of the central banks. They are the ones who make the destructive globalist agenda financially feasible by artificially lowering market interest rates and chronically expanding the credit and money supply. Governments are provided with the opportunity to massively increase their indebtedness, to influence overall demand significantly, thereby increasingly making producers and their employees dependent on state outlays, allowing an unlimited aggrandizement of the state, morphing it into what is typically called a deep state. Artificially suppressed interest rates create the impression, the illusion that the economy is wealthier than it really is, the illusion that people could easily afford to back the globalist agenda, abandoning affordable oil, coal and gas energy, embracing uncontrolled mass immigration, building an all-powerful state, suggesting that all of it won't lower people's living standards. And suppressed interest rates raise people's time preference. They make the fulfillment of present needs even more important than future needs, actually devaluing the future in favor of the present. An artificially raised time preference is the fertile ground on which the globalist plan for revolution can flourish, with minimal resistance from a misled population. Moreover, chronic consumer price inflation caused by central banks' money printing leads to the impoverishment of large segments of the population. Wage increases cannot keep up with monetary devaluation, and the purchasing power of savings is eroded. More and more people become dependent of state handouts. And so central banking brings the globalists to their goal closer than ever, to push back the system of free markets, or what little is left of it, to increasingly subject production and consumption under globalist control, to restrict people's freedom, construct a semi-socialist new world regime. But now US President Trump has turned off the money tap for the globalists in America. He also appears to be distancing himself from the aggressive militaristic foreign policy the country has pursued for decades. The globalists have already reacted to this shift by aiming to tap European taxpayers more aggressively. Consider, for example, the massive €1 trillion in new public debt planned by the new German government, or the €800 billion in loans the European Union intends to take out. It doesn't take much imagination to guess whose pockets these infrastructure and defense expenditures will ultimately fill. The Council of the European Central Bank, ECB, has already dutifully lowered interest rates again from 4.5% in September 2023 to 2.25% in April this year. Officially because of falling consumer goods price inflation, supposedly justifying lower yields. In reality, however, to finance overstretched public budgets of Eurozone countries and their globalist agendas. And so it is not a surprise that the US Federal Reserve's interest rate hikes, which began early 2022, have derailed globalism in America. The resulting increase in credit and capital costs have put an end to the great illusion, namely that the globalist agenda could be implemented at hardly any costs in terms of income losses for the broader population. The globalists have not given up, though. On the contrary, they have taken refuge in Europe, embracing the opportunity the Ukraine-Russian war offers, promoting fear to demoralize and control the population, erecting a war economy to enrich themselves at the expense of the people, paving the way towards the omnipotent state as envisioned by the globalists. The US Federal Reserve has long served as a kind of guardian of the holy grail of globalism. Under the Trump administration, however, it will find it difficult to continue playing that role. It will have to support Trump's Make America Great agenda, limiting its room for maneuvering to support the globalist world revolution, at least for the time being. However, the European Central Bank seems to fill the gap. It is becoming the globalists' main financial source, the new guardian of the holy grail of globalism, at the expense of the euro's purchasing power, the wealth of the people in Europe, their freedom and their peace. And thus the already overstretched euro currency area is inevitably heading towards its greatest stress test yet. If you want to know more what this means for your savings and investments, you should read Dr. Polleit's Boom and Bust report. All information is available at www.boombustreport.com for investors who really want to know.